Welcome back to the Expensive Coins History channel, everyone. Today we are taking a deep and detailed look at the 1998 D Mint Mark Washington Quarter Dollar, a coin that many people overlook but that holds an important place in U.S. coin history. While most examples are common and still found in circulation today, certain specimens can be surprisingly valuable. In this video, we will explore the coin's background, historical importance, minting details, rarity, grading, error potential, and what collectors expect its value and market demand to look like in 2026. The Washington Quarter is one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. It was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. Unlike many commemorative designs that were intended as one-time issues, the Washington Quarter was so well received that it became a permanent part of U.S. coinage. The portrait of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan, became a symbol of stability and tradition, and it remained largely unchanged for decades. By the time the 1998 Washington Quarter was struck, the design had already been in circulation for over 65 years. The year 1998 is especially significant because it represents one of the final years of the classic Washington Quarter with the traditional heraldic eagle reverse. In 1999, the U.S. Mint would begin the State Quarters program, replacing the long-standing eagle design with rotating state themes. Because of this, many collectors consider the 1998 quarter to be part of the closing chapter of a historic era in American coinage. The 1998 D quarter was produced at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the small D mint mark on the obverse of the coin. The mint mark appears just behind Washington's ponytail near the lower right side of his portrait. The Denver Mint was one of the busiest facilities in the country at the time, producing hundreds of millions of coins annually to meet the demands of everyday commerce. In 1998, the Denver Mint struck over 800 million Washington quarters. This extremely high mintage means that the coin is not rare in the traditional sense. Most examples were released directly into circulation and used heavily in daily transactions. As a result, circulated 1998 D quarters are still very easy to find in pocket change, coin jars, and bank rolls even decades later. The coin itself has a diameter of 24.3 mm and a reeded edge. It is composed of a copper core with an outer layer of copper nickel, giving it the familiar silver-colored appearance without containing actual silver. This clad composition had been standard for quarters since 1965, when rising silver prices made precious metal coinage impractical for circulation. On the obverse, George Washington faces left, with the word Liberty above his head and the motto, "In God We Trust," positioned to the left. The date 1998 appears below the portrait. On the reverse, the heraldic eagle is shown with outstretched wings, clutching arrows, with an olive branch beneath. The inscriptions, United States of America, and Quarter Dollar, surround the design. In circulated condition, the value of a 1998 D Washington Quarter is generally equal to its face value of 25 cents. Coins that show noticeable wear, smoothing of details, scratches, or discoloration are considered common and are typically not sought after by collectors. These examples were produced in such large quantities that supply far exceeds demand in the circulated market. However, value changes significantly when condition improves. Uncirculated 1998 D quarters that were never used in commerce can command a premium. Coins graded in lower mint state levels, such as MS-60 to MS-63, usually sell for a small amount above face value, often ranging from $1 to a few dollars. These coins may still show contact marks or weaker strikes but retain original mint luster. As the grade increases, scarcity becomes more noticeable. Coins graded MS-64 and MS-65 are more desirable and can sell for higher prices, sometimes reaching tens of dollars depending on eye appeal and market demand. These coins have fewer marks, stronger strikes, and better overall appearance. The most valuable examples of the 1998 D Washington Quarter are those graded in very high mint state levels such as MS-66, MS-67, and higher. Coins at these levels are exceptionally clean, with strong luster, sharp details, and minimal imperfections. Because so many coins were struck and handled in bulk, very few survived in such pristine condition. As a result, these high-grade coins are genuinely scarce. In some cases, top-grade certified examples have sold for hundreds or even over $1,000 at auction. These prices are not typical for the average coin, but they demonstrate how condition alone can dramatically affect value. Professional grading by reputable services is essential for achieving such prices, as collectors rely on certified grades for trust and consistency. Another factor that can increase value is the presence of mint errors or unusual striking characteristics. Error coins from 1998D may include off-center strikes, double strikes, clipped planchets, or other anomalies caused during the minting process. These errors are not common and can significantly increase collector interest. Depending on the severity and visibility of the error, values can range from modest premiums to several $100s or more. Some collectors also search for coins with proof-like surfaces or unusually sharp details, even though they were struck for circulation. These coins stand out visually and can be more appealing than standard examples, especially when paired with high grades. Looking toward the market in 2026, interest in modern U.S. coinage continues to grow. Many collectors who grew up during the late 20th century are now actively building sets of coins from their youth. As time passes, high-quality examples of common coins become harder to find, which can gradually increase demand for top-grade pieces. While the average circulated 1998D Washington quarter is unlikely to rise significantly in value, uncirculated and high-grade examples are expected to remain desirable. Certified coins in MS66 and above should continue to attract strong prices, particularly as registry-set competition and long-term collecting trends persist. For collectors and viewers at home, the key takeaway is simple. Most 1998D quarters are common and worth face value, but condition is everything. Carefully examine any examples you own, looking for sharp details, strong luster, and minimal wear. If you believe you have an exceptional coin, professional grading may be worth considering. The 1998D Mint Mark Washington quarter dollar may appear ordinary at first glance, but it represents the final years of a historic design that served the nation for generations. While most examples are everyday coins, select pieces can be surprisingly valuable, especially in top condition or with rare errors. Understanding what to look for can make the difference between a simple pocket change coin and a collectible worth preserving. The 1990D Mint Mark Washington quarter dollar is one of the most widely produced coins of the late 20th century, yet it continues to attract attention from collectors, investors, and everyday people who wonder whether the loose change in their pocket might be worth more than its face value. While this coin is often overlooked because of its modern age, its story, market behavior, and high-grade rarity make it an important piece in the history of United States coinage. The Washington Quarter series itself began in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. What started as a commemorative design quickly became permanent due to its popularity and practicality. By 1990, the design had already been in circulation for nearly 60 years, making it one of the most recognizable coins in American history. The obverse features John Flanagan portrait of George Washington facing left, with strong classical detail that remained largely unchanged for decades. The reverse displays the heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows, and an olive branch, symbolizing strength and peace. The 1990D quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the small d mint mark located to the right of Washington's ponytail on the obverse. This mint was responsible for producing the largest share of circulating coinage in the United States during that era. In 1990, the Denver Mint struck well over 900 million Washington quarters, making this issue extremely common in circulated condition. Because of this massive production, the coin is still frequently found in circulation today, even more than 3 decades after it was released. The composition of the 1990D Washington quarter follows the standard clad formula introduced in 1965. It consists of an outer layer of copper-nickel bonded to a pure copper core. There is no silver content in this coin, which means its value is not tied to precious metal prices. Instead, its worth depends entirely on condition, demand, and rarity within certain grading categories. In everyday circulated condition, the 1990D quarter typically shows signs of wear such as smoothing on Washington's hair, flattening of the eagle's feathers, and light scratches from years of handling. Coins in this state are generally worth face value. Even examples that appear slightly cleaner than average rarely command a premium, as collectors have access to an overwhelming supply of circulated pieces. Where this coin begins to show real collector interest is in uncirculated condition. An uncirculated 1990 D quarter is one that never entered circulation and still retains its original mint luster. These coins often come from original mint rolls or collector storage and display brighter surfaces, sharper details, and fewer marks. Even so, lower-grade uncirculated examples tend to be affordable, often selling for just a few dollars. The true rarity of the 1990 D Washington quarter emerges at the highest mint state levels. Coins graded MS65 and above show exceptional preservation, strong strikes, and attractive surfaces. At these levels, the population drops significantly because most coins from this issue were heavily bag-marked during mass production and transportation. Denver Mint quarters from this era are especially known for contact marks due to the sheer volume produced. Coins graded MS66 are noticeably scarcer and can command solid premiums. At MS67 and higher, the 1990 D quarter becomes genuinely rare. Only a very small number of coins have been certified at these elite grades, and competition among registry set collectors has driven prices sharply upward. In auction settings, top-graded examples have sold for hundreds of dollars, and in exceptional cases, over $1,000. These prices are not driven by age or silver content, but by the extreme difficulty of finding a coin from this issue that survived in nearly perfect condition. Error coins also add another layer of interest to the 1990 D Washington quarter. While major errors are uncommon, minor minting anomalies such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or double die characteristics can increase a coin's value significantly. The worth of an error coin depends on the visibility, severity, and demand for that specific type of error. However, most coins advertised online as rare errors are often misidentified or damaged after leaving the mint. As the coin market moves toward 2026, the value trends for the 1990 D Washington quarter remain stable but selective. Circulated coins are expected to remain at face value, as supply far exceeds demand. Uncirculated examples may see modest increases due to inflation and growing interest in modern coin series, but the most dramatic appreciation will continue to be limited to top-graded certified coins. Collector demand for high-quality modern coins has steadily increased, especially among those building complete date and mint Washington quarter sets. As grading standards tighten and more coins are permanently removed from circulation due to damage or loss, the remaining high-grade population becomes increasingly important. This dynamic supports long-term value growth for elite specimens, even for coins that were once considered common. It is important for collectors and sellers to approach this coin with realistic expectations. While stories of quarters selling for thousands of dollars are real, they apply only to a very small fraction of surviving examples. The average 1990 D quarter found in pocket change is not a hidden treasure. However, carefully preserved coins, especially those professionally graded at the highest levels, represent a fascinating example of how condition can transform an ordinary coin into a valuable collectible. The 1990 D Washington quarter dollar stands as a reminder that rarity is not always about age or low mintage. Sometimes rarity is created by survival, preservation, and the relentless passage of time. As the years move forward and collectors continue to search for the best examples, this modern classic will remain a quiet but important part of American numismatic history. For those willing to look closely, learn grading standards, and understand the market, even a coin as common as the 1990 D quarter can tell a powerful story about value, history, and the hidden potential of everyday money. If you enjoyed this in-depth breakdown and want more detailed coin value videos, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.